So this represents P, okay, and then I have this line, okay. We call them isoelectrical line too. You can call it isoelectrical line, but this is not a true isoelectrical line. We'll talk about that. And then I'll have a, because it's going away from the positive end, I'll have like this. And this represents my Q. And that represents my septal depolarizations. Okay, now let me erase this. You got this part, right? This represents septal. Okay, let me actually write it down for you. This is called septal depolarization or interventricular septal depolarizations. Right? Now, other thing I'm going to talk about is now, what's the other event happening? Now after the interventricular septums, the ventricle get depolarized. Now, this is important. I'm not draw here the ventricles. Okay? Let me draw this as this interventricular septum. Let me draw this small, like this. Okay, because I want to make this as a bigger. There is a reason why. Because this is big thing. Let me draw this in a smaller way. So let me draw this, let me draw this interventricular septum. And this is all is major. Let's say this is all from here to here. Let's say this is my major depolarization. This is a major ventricular depolarization happening, right? In the most part of the ventricles. Left ventricles, right ventricles, right? See, whenever the ventricle depolarizes, remember, lower end is supplying here, right? Because look, if the fibers are coming this way, right? The fibers, the protein fiber that is smooth in the inner layer of your myocardium, inner layer of your ventricular myocardium. And there are different types of layer of myocardium, right? So you have this most inner layer, let's say, this inner layer down here, we call this, okay, well, let's just simply say inner myocardium. Okay, this is inner myocardium, and the middle layer we say, let's say middle myocardium, and then this is outer, so that's outer myocardium. Or we could simply call this as a endocardial myocardium, right? Endocardial myocardium, whatever it is. I think that's what it is. And then there's a middle myocardium, right? And then epi myocardium. That's what it is. Or pericardium, I think that's it. Yeah, epicardium, yes, epicardium. Okay, so the subendo, middle myocardium, and then outer myocardium. So when the ventricle are depolarizing, it is depolarizing from the innermost layer first. Okay, the reason why is because the protein fiber is smooth there. Because of that, when the depolarization happens, it happens. Let's say it happened from this direction. So it goes this directions. So you have positive like this. Right? It's depolarizing this end, and then again this is go positive like this. It started. So the cell is started to become what? Positive. Is losing its polarity and it is depolarizing. Is happening this direction, right? When this depolarization is happening, what is happening? Here's that. What is happening when the depolarization is happening? Guys, come on, let's go. What is happening when the depolarization is happening? When this is happening, right? Because these cells, okay, let's just have ventricular myocardium over here. Let's just start. Because these cells have lots of Purkinje cells, and these are longer and bigger, right? Longer, bigger, and they have a lot of gap junctions. Lots of gap junctions, right? The diameter is bigger. They have a voltage-gated sodium channels, okay? And they are thick because of this. And it's depolarized from inner to outer. What happens is that, obviously, let me put this with the negative electrodes obviously here, and then I have a positive electrodes that's going to be here. Okay? And it is, and look, the depolarization is happening. In what direction is it happening? It is going from in to out, right? So it is going downward, okay? It's going downward. It's going downward. But it is going downward, positive. But it is going downward and leftward. No, why is going leftward? The concept is why is going leftward. Remember, this depolarization is happening at ventricles, both right ventricles and left ventricles, okay? But remember, left ventricle is thicker than right ventricles, okay? So because of the thickness of your left ventricle, that takes over it. That takes over these vector positions. Because of that, we say the depolarizations or the electrical waves, the current is actually moving. The cell is depolarizing from the in to out, so it's going downward towards left because of the thickness of the ventricular myocardium cells. So when this depolarization is happening, you could have lots of millions of vectors, and if you add all those vectors and find the mean of one major vectors, you can produce, because they remember, as I said, like if they are contracting at the same time or depolarizing at the same time, and there are millions of vectors that produce at the same time, then we can add all of them together and create a one vector that represents all these major ventricular, the major portions of these ventricles, and we can call the mean or average of these major ventricular depolarizations. And because the left side is thicker, obviously that's going to take dominance, so you will have, what is this, going downward and leftward. So that's how the current is, right? So now, if he's going downward and currentward, how this is going to move, right? If this is going to move downward or upward, obviously you're going to have a longer ventricles, and obviously it's going to be positive. Remember, because it is going downward and upward, so it's going to be more this way, right? Because current is going, but let me draw positive, all that, right? So now, because of the thickness of the cell, because of and loss of it, it will have a, what kind of deflection? It will have a fast deflection. It will have a fast deflection, okay? Because remember I said the length of the vector is directly proportional to the thickness of the cells. Because of that, you have a positive, fast, amplified deflections, right? So that's why if I combine now, it will have something like this. So if let me draw it in green actually. So let me erase this part here for you, and then let me draw big. So it will have tall like this. Okay, this represents my major depolarization. Now let's add all of them together. Okay, let's add in the red actually. Let's add in the green this time because we added the green time. So you have, obviously we talked about P. Remember, this is atrial, right? This one is, what is this? My atrial depolarizations, right? This is my AV node. Current is passing AV node, right? This is going to be my hydrodisceptal depolarization, and this is going to be my ventricular depolarization. It's a major ventricular depolarizations. Major, right? Depolarizations. Now, so it will have this longer wave. So if I add all of them together, with atria I have this, right? Then I have this, which is my AV node representing, and I have a little bit of this guy, and then I have this long, goes like this, right? So this represents, so now if I do, this is P, this is Q, this is R, and we haven't talked about the other one. Now, let me erase this part for now, okay? You guys, hopefully you understood this part. Now, what is the other part? The last part is this area gets depolarized, which is called the base or basal side of your ventricle. Okay, so what happening is that, look, the electrical, this current is passing from this way, right? It's going this way. So obviously when you pass the movie, it will, because look, the width ventricle shift is coming like this. Because of this, the current is gonna, the depolarization will happen this way, right? It will happen this directions, the way I'm drawing. So it will happen more like this way. So because of this, what happens? Let me draw the cell right here again. Let's draw in a blue color again, because we've been drawing the blue. Let me draw this page in a blue too. So if I do this, right, and then I have this Purkinje cells, let's say, right? All that, right? So obviously, let me draw in the negative here, electrodes applied, and then let's say I applied with red, which is a positive electrode, right? So now remember, what is happening with this is that this is depolarizing this event, right? The last part of the ventricle is going through process of depolarizations. So obviously the current, because this side is thicker than this side, we're going to create a vector that is actually going to move from this, because this angle, so to go from this side here, go from upward to the right. That's what will happen, because it's moving upward to the right side. Okay, this is upward to the right side. That's how the current will flow. Because it's going upward to the right side or this way, so what is going to happen? This will go. So if it's going to upward to the right side, because it's going upward, right, not the downward, upward. So because of that, you have a vector that is produced going this direction. I'm drawing in a different color. Okay, obviously positive, but because it's going away from this positive direction, what's going to happen? It'll have negative deflection or positive deflection. It'll have obviously if it's going away from the positive direction, it's simple, right? It will have because it is getting depressed from this direction, right? Upward to right. Because that is up, it will have obviously negative deflection, right? So that way you will see another wave. But because if you compare to the septum and this, because this is a ventricular myocytes, right? They contain Purkinje cells, but not as much as the meaty ventricles. So because of that, it will have a stronger deviation, but not as bigger as this one. Okay, so it will be between that. So you have something like this. So you have downward. So the ECG emission read as negative, so there are negative deflections. Isn't this easy? This is shockingly easy. So now if I add all of them together, let's say if I add all of them, you have this. What is this wave? This is going to be my P wave. You have this line, which is AV, it represents AV node, and then you have this Q is going like this, and obviously you have this major ventricular depolarizations going that way, and I'm going to draw this one, which is my another way, like that. Okay. See, now this represents my Q, this is my R, and my S. Right? Now, what is happening? Now your cell. Now you are. Let me draw the green. Now it's all depolarized. That means all your ventricles are depolarized, completely depolarized. When all of you, same with the interventricular septums. When you have all this interventricular septum, means your entire cell is depolarized. Okay, that means when the cells are, that means the wave of current or wave electrons are not moving. So when they're not moving, will there be any fluctuation in needles? No. So you do not have a fluctuation in needles. Plus, you also need to have like potassium channel needs to open up to have an efflux. So for the repolarization to occur, the potassium has to leave the cells and go out. So it has to efflux of potassium has to happen. But potassium channels are a little slow or delay, so that takes time. And time being, your needles will draw this line. Obviously, I'm doing a black color, which is going to be this another line here, like this. And now another thing will happen is that now by this time, now your cell is, what is happening? Cell is started repolarizing. A lot of potassium channels are opened up now, cells are repolarizing. But now, the concept here is very important. The concept here is that, remember how we said the major depolarization happens from inner to out? So that means the ventricle contracted. When the ventricle contracted, what happens? All those capillaries inside the cell, they got to smush together. If they get all smushed together, what happens is that when the repolarization happens, from the outer layer to inner layer. So basically, the repolarization happens in this directions. Okay, so it goes from outer, from the subepicardium to the subendocardium. Okay, so goes from your repolarization goes from the outer to inner. So let me write down repolarizations here. Goes from your outer part to inner. So the cell will start depolarizing from negative end. So if I draw, let me quickly make a cell. Let me make a cell down here. So if I draw my cell, this is my, obviously represent the ventricle cells, right? Obviously I'm putting this as a negative electrode here, like on the left side, and on the right side, and then I have a positive, which is going to be the black color right here. Right. So now here, what is happening here? This is my cell. Sorry, drawing in different colors. I hope that's okay. But okay, so when this happens, the cell is depolarizing from this direction. Okay, let me erase this, and then let me make this very good for you. When this is repolarizing, okay, let me draw in black actually. So when the cell is repolarizing, it goes for this way, right? So cell is started gaining its polarity because of the potassium efflux. So cell is going this way. So it is negative like this, right? All that. So all this happening at the same time. Okay, a ventricular repolarization is happening at the same time. Okay, losing the potassium efflux, and cell is going back to its own polarity or reaching resting memory potentials. So in that case, what happens is that these guys, look, this is moving from where? This is going upward, right? It's going upward to where? It's going upward to right. So you can put all this, and there's a lot of, like, again, millions of vectors are produced of the repolarization current, right? So it is moving upward, so it is moving upward and to the right, so we can add all of them together and make all four directions. So if I make a vector right here, so with this cell right here, right? So it is going upward to the right? So it is going from this directions, right? So it was, what happened? It was positive, right? So it started gaining negative, right? So it started becoming negative. So what is happening here is that this cell have a vector that is, let me draw a vector here. It's moving to this direction, to the negative electrodes. So obviously this direction is negative. So this current is carrying negative charges, right? Because this current is negative charges and moving to negative, what happens? Negative cancels out each other and become positive. So that's why you see this wave, which is also called T wave, right? So if I draw this my ECG line, now let's add all of this and make one ECG. So let me make that all ECG is down here. So if I look at the atria, actually, you know what? Let me erase this and let's just quickly draw the vectors of the different things, and then we'll draw the ECG line, okay? I hope this is very clear. And if not, then I might have to kill myself. Okay, let's just talk about this. Look, so basically what I'm going to do is, let's just draw one here, okay? One here, and then one here. Amazing. So, and I think we have to do a little more than that, but we'll talk about that too, and maybe this one too. Okay, what happens? So this one, I'm going to represent this as my atrial depolarizations, right? Depolarizations. Remember what happened on this contract? What happens? We produce a vector, right? And let me draw with vector with this color. It was going downward and then to the right, and obviously positive, right? That's what's happening. Okay, let me draw this now. Just make it simple and not make it too difficult. You have going downward and then right, so positive, right? Positive. So you drew this graph. Then let's say AV node. AV node, what happens? This is my AV node, right? Our mission did not read it, right? So because of this, there is a line, it was produced. Now, let's say this is going to be my septal depolarization. Remember what happened to septal? It started depolarizing from the lower end, right? So you produce a vector that is going upward like that, but it has a positive end. But because it is going away from the positive electrodes, you'll have a negative sections. And this is so easy. So you have this type of going downward. And this is, what is this? A major ventricular depolarization, right? Remember what we said? It is going, the vectors are produced, long vectors are produced, which is going downward to the left because the left ventricle is thicker, okay, and it has a positive. So that way you make the long, this complex. This is P. This is got, I mean, we can say it for now. We'll say PR segment. For this one, will be say Q, and we'll say this is R. And then here, what is happening? The last part of the ventricles gets depolarized, which is the basal part. And remember what we said? If we add all together, it will move rightward, it will upward and rightward. So because of that, because of this, and then you have positive, because it is going away from the electrode again. Remember, this one, compare this. Going from away from the electrode, it will have a negative deflection. But this will be relatively bigger deflections compared to your septal. So you'll have like this. And then obviously you have to draw another one, which is this one. What is this? Now this is the end where all of your ventricles is completely depolarized. When these completely depolarized, what happens? Your needle would not be able to read it because there's no movement of current, there are no movements of charges. So when you have no movement of charges, there will be no positive, no deflections. So obviously there will be one line here, straight line. Right? Now, what's the other thing? Other thing is happening here. Let's just quickly talk about. Another line here is another thing, which is going to be the cell is going to start repolarizing from the outer to inner, right? This direction. So if you started depolarizing from this angle, okay, it will start gaining negative charges. And then if you add all the vector together, what happens? This cell is going to have a vector that is going upward. So let's just make this. upward to the right and negative. And remember, it is going to the negative. This negative and the negative is going to negative, right? So it cancels out or become positive. So you'll see this type of wave, right? So now, if we add all of them together, let me draw this in a black. Okay, so if we add all of them together, okay, which is this one, what is this? P waves, and then you have this line, which is my AV. Then you have a little bit of this one, and then you have a tall R, and then you have a little bit longer. This is my Q, and then you have this segment right here, and then obviously U, and then you have next cardiac cycle. So these represent my atrial depolarization, atrial contraction. This is going to be my Q, R, and this is S. This is going to be my T. So these represent one cardiac cycle. Okay, that's how we make ECG. Sometimes, let me quickly talk about. Sometimes what happens is that sometimes you get to see later something called U wave. You get to see this. There's not an exact answer of why there is a creations of this U wave, but usually sometimes when I read it, there are multiple things I got to read. One is maybe this U wave is caused because of the interventricular subtendinous repolarizations that could give you this sort of like U wave too. And other one is what happens is that when the ventricle are repolarizing, the papillary muscles vibrate, so they go process repolarizations, and because of that, you get to see this little wave that's called U wave too. Okay, but that's what I have got to know so far. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a little bit about the pictures of ECG and how this is going to be turned out. Okay, so let me erase this and we'll talk about the ECG paper quickly, and we'll draw them together. So let me draw ECG. Let's say this is my. If I say let's say this is my cartwheel. Okay, this is my cartwheel, and then my ECG paper is going to be. Let's draw in the blue color too. Actually, no. Let me draw in a blue. If I draw this paper in a blue, like this, and if I put let's say motor. If I put a motor and this, and then obviously I'm going to have my ECG machine, which is going to be, let's say this is my ECG machine, right? And obviously, it's going to read. And then obviously, if I make this, let me make it in a blue color. If I make this, what is happening here? And let me draw a needle here. And the needle's right here, okay? Needles. And then usually, because let's say I put a motor here. This is a motor, okay? And the paper will roll over this direction. And then this needle will read it and draw the ECG line. Pattern. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw this, right? So if you see, look at the ECG paper, and this is moving over. It's moved over about like 25, okay, millimeter per second. That's what usually it moves, and this is how it is moving, right? Now, in every that, okay. So if it's moving in 25 millimeter per second, and it usually in that direction, usually what happens is that it passes by about 5 boxes, like 5 big boxes, because they have those big boxes. And let me draw those big boxes too, vertically and horizontally too. So make this as a big boxes. 2, 3, right? And then obviously let me make this big boxes right here too, like that. Okay, and this is what it is, right? So basically, in 1 minute, in 1 minute, what is happening in 1 minute? Let's say in 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, what happens is that if you do this, about 300 big boxes, big boxes passes through. Because remember, if it in 25 millimeter per second, if the 5 big boxes happen, remember this. Then if you do 1 big box, right? If we do 1 big box, or let's say in 60 seconds, what happens? Let's just do this. 60 seconds. How many boxes will pass? 60 times what? 5 big box, right? So you do have 300 big box, right? That's what happened. Now, if this is the case, now let's talk about, in 1 minute, obviously, it will pass the 300 big box, correct? Now, let's try, in those big box, there are also 5 more small boxes. So, one big box is equal to 5 small box. And there's the importance of this. And what does this mean? Which basically means, okay, that means what about one small box? So if I do one small box is representing, what is this thing? That means you just have to do, okay, so one big box is 5 small box, right? That's what I have. So one small box, we're gonna draw them, and we're gonna talk about how long or how time for me it takes. Because if this is the case, so if I find one big box, I could just do this 300 big box, right? Let's just say one big box is equal to 60 seconds divided by, let's say, 300 big box, because that will give me about one big box, which is about, what is this? What is 0.2 seconds, or you can just simply say 200 m-second, right? Milliseconds, that's what you could say. That means if I do, right, 200 milliseconds, so that means there's one big box. Let's just draw in big. Let me divide this more. This is more here. This part right here is going to be my 0.2 seconds, right? Or in this small box, one big box has 5 small box. 2. So let's just draw a small box in a black color. It will have vertically and it has horizontally. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me forget about that. And then again, you're gonna make another line here. So I'll have, let's just say, okay, let's just make this one too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, this is gonna be, graph is gonna be like, okay. Let me draw this section too. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So look, each small box. Now we're talking about each small box, right? So that means one big box is equal to 5 small box, right? So that means what about one small box? Okay, you got this part, right? Let me erase this and draw this. Obviously, there's a needle line here. So let's say one small box, right? One small box is what? So one small box is basically, you have to figure out the big box. You have to remember what we know what is big box is, right? So now we have to just figure out the one big box. One big box has how many? 5 small box, right? So that means one small box, we just have to do what? You just have to do 5. So you'll do 0.20 seconds divided by my 5, right? So in this case, what do I get? About 0.04 seconds. Or simply, if I do 200 milliseconds per, what is this? Like 5, right? What is this? 40 milliseconds. So I would get that. So same thing. So from now on, this is the most important number you remember. This small box, and I'm talking about I'm not talking about vertical, I'm talking this horizontal. Let's use a different color now. Let me use a black and red. This small box is this from here to here. This is about 0.04 seconds or 40 milliseconds. That's what it means. Okay? This is what it means. Because when we draw a graph, we have to understand something else, because we're just talking about vertical right now. And this, you see this right here, from here to here, this point represents the voltage. Okay, this represents the voltage, millivolts. And usually one big box is about, if you have one big box voltage, okay, it's about usually, what is this, 5 millimole or 0.5 millivolt. That means each box is about, so each small box is 0.1 millivolt or 1 millimeters. That's what it is. So each box right here, this is 0.2 seconds. That's the one big box, right? And then each small box is about 0.04 seconds, and the height, which is this, this represents the voltage of it, voltage of your the electrical potentials of from A to point B. Remember, which we talk about wave charges. What's the electrical charge? The difference, potential difference between from cell going from. Let's just quickly talk about that too for you guys too. So if your cell is moving from, this is A and B. If it's moving from A to B and what is the potential difference between this? This potential difference, we also call them a dipole. Okay, what is the potential difference going from here and here? And we usually use that as the voltage to draw this. All right. Now the other thing is that usually if I draw my, let's draw this here on the screen. Usually about when you draw your P waves, right? Let's talk about waves. What are waves? We've been talking about P waves, right? So if I say waves, what are waves? Why should I draw this? Let me draw. Oh, we need this. Okay, let's just write down here. P waves, right? Waves are just the deflections of your machine, right? If it's a positive, it will move to positive. If it's negative, it will bring to negative. And there's segment. So this is waves, and there's a segment, right? So if I have to do, let's just erase this, and let's just write down 0.04 seconds for that one small box. So waves, you have a P waves, right? So remember, this is P waves right here. And then you have T waves, right? Over there. And segments would be anything after atrial contractions, okay? Let's just erase this part too, and let's just draw the EKG graph for simply understanding purpose. So if I have to draw this, let's see, this is waves. This is P waves, right? This is Q, R, S, and this is T. These are waves. And then this segment is usually this after the atrial depolarizations and before the onset of your ventricular depolarizations. So usually this is PT segment. That PT segment, which is isoelectrical line, not true isoelectrical line, but you can, for a normal person, you can say isoelectrical line. And then obviously you're going to have another one would be QT, that's a segment. And intervals basically means, and then we'll also talk about the concept of intervals. Intervals is basically means that when you add your waves and your segments, they're together. So if you add P and this segment, right, still we'll call them what is this? Or PT segment, PT intervals, right? Other one is QRS intervals too, or QT intervals. This is like when you add waves and then your segments. When you add both of them together, we have this segments. And remember, whenever we draw P waves, we usually draw P waves in two to like 3 small boxes. That's usually we do. Okay, so when you draw the P waves, let's draw P waves. We draw in a 2 small box. So basically, this is 1 and 2. So we'll draw P waves in this. So this is going to be my P waves. And what is another? The PT segment, right? Usually when you draw the PT segment, we also draw in a 2 to 3 small box. You can say 2.5 small box to 2 to 3 small box. That means what is the time duration? If I do, so each box is, let's say each box is 2 box, right? 2 small box. That means, and each small box is what? 0.04 seconds. That what is this? 0.08 seconds. You draw this in 0.08 second. Right? Now, if let's say PT segment, if I do PT, all segments are drawn in two boxes. So that will be 1, so 1, 2. So I'll have this wave right here, the 1. So if I do this, what is this? PT again, it will be 0.08 seconds. So if you want to know the intervals, right? Was it before this one? Was it PR intervals? What is PR intervals? I didn't write the PR. So this is PR intervals. Okay? We don't usually call, like, let's say, PR segment too. Usually PR segment or PR intervals too. Look, usually we say PR segment and we don't say PQ segment because sometimes we don't see this negative reflections on the ECG. So it's simply called, but we do see our segment. Sorry, our pattern. That's why we say PR segments or intervals. So usually that drawn is on a 2 small boxes, 2.5, 3. And if you add the PR intervals, that will be you're adding 0.08 or simply like 4 boxes, or some people say 5 boxes, 4.5. Choice is yours between 2 and 3. So the PR intervals would be about 0.08 plus 0.08 would be what? 0.16 seconds, or you can simply say 4 boxes, 4 small boxes. And what about the QRS, right? Okay, what about QRS? Do you think it will be a 5 boxes? It'll be easy. It'll be just same 2 boxes as well. So do 1 and 2. So you'll have, say, negative deflections, right? And you'll have going up this way, and then 1, 2, and this is 1 and 2, right? So I have this, and then you'll have this like this, 2 segment. So basically that would be also about, what is this? 2 boxes with 0.08 seconds. And then after that, you'll move from usually from your Q to T. When you make the repolarization, usually it takes like about 10 to 11 boxes before the repolarization happens. So just count. So basically from here, if you count, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's say. So from here, this is 10, right? So you just make it draw like this, and then kind of like make like this. And usually last one also takes about 2.5. So 2 small boxes for your T waves as well. So that's how you can make the ECG. You can draw your electrocardiograms in the ECG paper. Like oftentimes you guys use, oftentimes, I oftentimes hear that, how do you calculate your heart rate based on the ECG emission, right? So let's quickly talk about this. Now, the whole concept of the heart rate is, your heart rate is basically equal to, what is this? Number of, look, in 1 minute, right? In 1 minute or 60 seconds, the 300 big boxes pass, right? So basically the heart rate you can calculate as your 300 big boxes divided by number of cardiac cycles. In one cardiac cycle, how many big boxes are passing? Number of big boxes is passing in one cardiac cycle. And just count the big box. If you look at the big boxes, so you do 300 divided by big box, right? So for instance, like in one cardiac cycle, let's say I have a 5. It passes of 5 big boxes in one cardiac cycle. So you just divide it by 300 divided by 5 big boxes. So what does that give me? 5, 6. So you have 60 beats per minute, right? Let's say if you have if it's passing 300 big boxes, and if in one cardiac cycle, let's say it passes 4 times. It passes 4 big box. Then what do? You just divide this, right? So how is it 300 big box? Because 1 minute is 1 minute. In 1 minute, how many big box? 300 big box it passes, right? So 4. So it would be what? 4, 7. So that would be 75 beats per minute, right? If it's, let's say, if it's 300, if it's 2 big box passes, then what is this? 150 beats per minute. Is this hard? This is shockingly easy. Okay, so today we talked about general concept or basic concept of ECG, and I hope I made it very, very clear to you how the ECG works.